him, right? I mean, me and Donald have had a history, a long history. Well, not a long history, but we've had a history. It's an exciting bout. It's a fan-friendly bout. It's a fight that excites me. And it's a fight that I said I'd partake.
By now, we are just days away from UFC 246, where Conor McGregor is set to make his long-awaited return to battle it out with UFC veteran Donald Cerrone. And although the fight was announced only a couple of months ago, it's one that's been years in the making. So for this video, we'll be taking a look at the history between Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone, and going over the journey that brought them to UFC 246. As always, if you guys enjoy this video, then please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at the timeline of Conor McGregor versus Donald Cerrone. The history between Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone had a surprisingly friendly start, dating back all the way as far as January 2015. At the time, both McGregor and Cerrone were set to compete at UFC Fight Night 59, which resulted in McGregor defeating Dennis Siver by knockout and Cerrone scoring a decision win over Ben Henderson. But just a couple of days prior to the event, Cerrone had been asked about his thoughts on a potential matchup with Conor McGregor, which he responded to by saying this.
You think that's a fight that sells at all?
Sure. And Conor won't be able to talk shit to me though. He won't be able to do that Poirier stuff because I'll him up whenever I see him at the, you know what I mean? So that won't fly with me. I don't play that game.
Following McGregor's win against Dennis Siver, he was paired off with Jose Aldo to fight for the featherweight title. During this time, McGregor had expressed some interest in eventually moving up a weight class to compete in the lightweight division. This prompted a fan to ask Donald Cerrone during a Q&A about his thoughts on taking on McGregor in future, if he eventually did decide to move up a weight class. Cerrone answered the question, while also offering up a bit of praise for McGregor's achievements.
I love how you don't have to talk shit to come ready to fight. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you want to kick Conor McGregor's ass?
Oh, no. Can't talk about the golden child like that. Come on now. I want to still be employed with the UFC. Conor's he's doing a great job. Talked himself right into a title shot, man. Hell yeah, good job, buddy. Hey, son of a bitch. He fights.
He does,
He fights. Everyone's like, oh, he's not, wait till he gets a test, then he wins. Now he's got a real test. What if he wins? Then you gotta shut the up, huh? I don't know.
Right.
After McGregor had defeated Chad Mendes at UFC 189 to win the interim featherweight title, he was asked during a media interview if he was still interested in moving up a weight to challenge for the lightweight belt. Not only did he express his interest in doing so, but he also took the opportunity to take some verbal shots at Rafael dos Anjos and Donald Cerrone, who were scheduled to fight for the lightweight title in just a few months.
Rafa has nothing. Donald has nothing. Rafa will be lucky to make 6 figures this fight, and rightfully so. He shouldn't even make 6 figures because he doesn't even bring in 6 figures. Donald will probably scrape 6 figures because he shows up and fights every couple of weeks, and he earns that 6 figure. But he don't earn much more than that. And make no mistake, they want it as well. They don't give a about each other. What if either of them had the opportunity to scrap that fight and come fight me, I can change their life. I can make them rich.
Cerrone soon caught wind of McGregor's comments and proceeded to offer up a warning for McGregor over Twitter. On September 4th, 2015, both McGregor and Cerrone attended a UFC press conference, which hosted a large number of fighters scheduled to compete in future events. While McGregor's goal was largely to promote his fight with Jose Aldo at UFC 194, McGregor also took aim at several of the lightweight fighters in attendance, which of course included Donald Cerrone.
Conor has no right coming to 55. There's no way he's not going to stand a chance. We're too big for him. We're too strong. So you can take your little English ass and get on.
Too slow and too stiff. You're stiff as a board. I'd snap you in half. And that's it.
He's real good at talking out in front of the public, but when we all stand in the background there, he got nothing to say. So, I stood back there for 30 minutes right next to him and nothing to say to me. But he was very cordial with my man next to me today. Of course, we get out here, he wants to run his mouth, but it's good. You know, he sells the fights, but he comes to 155, he won't bend his little ass over and knock the lucky charm.
See about that. First, you've got to get through a guy that whooped your ass already. So why would I waste my time with a guy? You're fighting a guy that whooped your ass next. So you got to come through that. And let me say, and then I'll consider. I'll check the numbers. I'll discuss it with Frank, and I'll decide whether I'll change your bum life as well.
The heated exchanges sparked an immediate dislike between the pair, and that same animosity continued to linger during the next few years.
He really pisses me off. I feel like just telling him
Of
when he
course.
was in the press conference, I wanted to rip him so bad.
Of course.
I wanted to kill him. I wanted to be like, you know what, Conor, you can blow me like a cup of hot soup, you son of a bitch.
As McGregor was preparing for his massive showdown against Jose Aldo, he continued to express interest in moving up to lightweight should he get past Aldo. During an interview, McGregor was asked whether he hoped Cerrone would win against Dos Anjos. Conor admitted that he would be more interested in a fight with Cerrone, stating that Dos Anjos wouldn't bring in the big numbers for their fight like Cerrone would.
Is there any part of you that kind of wants Cerrone to beat Rafael Dos Anjos, since you and Cerrone have already kind of verbally mixed it up a little, and that's more of a fun fight for you?
Yeah. I mean, I think the brass want that. But, you know, they said to me that if Cerrone wins, then they would do the lightweight fight. We would do the lightweight title fight. And I'm like, because Dos Anjos it wouldn't bring a number, so it wouldn't be as big with Dos Anjos. But really, the fight will decide what happens. KO Jose, and KO whoever holds that lightweight belt.
With Conor consistently talking about his desire to move up in weight, Cerrone responded by saying he loved the idea, and that he hoped Conor would get past Aldo so that the two would eventually cross paths.
Conor McGregor's been speaking a lot about moving up to the lightweight division, taking on the winner of either yourself or Dos Anjos. I mean, what do you make of all this?
Come on with it, baby. I love it. I love the idea. That's turned my from knowing that Aldo's going to whip his ass to hoping that McGregor can pull it off.
But as it turned out, Cerrone ended up losing his title fight by TKO. So once McGregor got past Aldo, he set his sights on Rafael Dos Anjos. But due to a last-minute injury to Dos Anjos, plans quickly changed, and the UFC scrambled to find a replacement opponent. While Cerrone offered to step up and face McGregor on short notice, the UFC instead went with Nate Diaz. And during the lead up to his fight with Nate Diaz, McGregor had some harsh words for Cerrone for coming up short in his title bout with Dos Anjos, and even accused him of quitting during the fight.
You said you wanted to see the result of the 155 fight before you made any decisions, and ultimately do you think this is the bigger fight, the better fight?
Then what?
Than Cerrone, if Cerrone had won.
Whoever had won, it was at the bigger fight, so only out that one big time. I mean, that's why he can fight again next week. He's fighting this week, is he, or sometime soon?
This weekend.
Ask Aldo, can he fight this weekend? And he cannot fight. When you win by KO, by stoppage, by a true stoppage, you put your opponent out of action for 10 months to a year. He quit in there, inside that octagon. That's why he can go now next week and he can say, oh, I fight every week and this and that, but you can fight every week if you go in and quit. If you're willing to die in there, then he wouldn't be able to have them turn around, so.
Soon after, McGregor lost to Nate Diaz by submission. Cerrone reacted to the loss by saying that he would have won the fight had he been chosen to fight McGregor. He also went on to say that he'd love to fight McGregor sometime in the future. However, in June of 2016, Cerrone eventually began to lose interest in a fight with McGregor. During an interview, he stated that he'd be more interested in facing Nate Diaz in a rematch, and also went on to say that there wasn't as big of a payday in facing McGregor as most believed.
If Diaz pulls out, do you want Conor?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'd rather fight Diaz over Conor, you know, but I mean, that's everyone talks about that's the money fight. But people don't understand. That's what's so funny to me. People are like, you get that fight, that's the money fight. Like, no, I'm under contract. I get the same pay whether I fight Patrick O'Bakay or I fight Conor. Like, it doesn't. He might make more money because he got pay-per-view. You know, I didn't go do a good job promoting myself and making myself big and get pay-per-view money. So I get the same $80,000 to fight anybody.
Just a couple of months later, both Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone were put on the main card of UFC 202, with Cerrone taking on Rick Story, whilst McGregor faced off against Nate Diaz once again. Cerrone proceeded to win his fight by TKO, while McGregor defeated Nate Diaz by majority decision. But Cerrone wasn't happy with McGregor's win, and expressed being upset about the result in the post-fight press conference.
I was back there hooting and hollering for Nate, man. Like, come on, man, get it. Fucking God. So I was upset. A couple times I had it 1-1, then 2-1, you know, and so, but yeah, I was really pulling for Nate on that fight. Looking forward to it now. I got to listen to this dude talk again forever, so I'm not looking forward to that.
1 month later, both McGregor and Cerrone attended yet another press conference, this time for UFC 205. And although the two were facing separate opponents, they couldn't help but get involved in yet another unfriendly exchange.
And one question for Cowboy, and I guess, here you are on a days again, listening to Conor talk. Man, I could see you back there. Just wondering what this experience was like for you.
Oh man, this is New York City, man. It's Square Garden, man. I'm so pumped to be here. But listening to this Joker talk, we all just sit back here and laugh. So it is what it is.
Another broke, jealous, bitter fighter. The game seems to be full of them. I've got nothing but love for everybody up here. You know what I'm saying? It's just bitterness and hate and negativity towards me because of what I'm doing, because of what I'm making. That's all that is.
After nearly 2 years of silence between McGregor and Cerrone reignited interest in a potential matchup with McGregor after his win at UFC Fight Night 139. Following his submission win over Mike Perry, Cerrone took to social media, sharing a picture of both him and Conor, claiming he was waiting on Conor to accept the fight. Unfortunately, Dana White quickly shut the idea down, saying that the fight wasn't happening. After spending some time competing in the welterweight division, Donald Cerrone decided to return to the lightweight division, taking on Alex Hernandez at UFC on ESPN1. Just a few days before the event, Cerrone laid out his plans during an interview, plotting to defeat Hernandez and then face McGregor in his next fight.
Well, hopefully I beat him and then, Conor wants. That'd be the fight I'd want next, definitely, because he's sitting up there number 2. So you talk about top 5. Let's go number 2. Come on. Let's dance. Let's go. Let's go have some fun.
Once Cerrone defeated Alex Hernandez by TKO in round 2, Cerrone challenged McGregor in his post-fight speech. The call-out was surprisingly met with a response from McGregor, who took to Twitter to congratulate Cerrone, whilst also agreeing to fight him. Cerrone later went on to say in an interview that he was hopeful the fight would go through, and that he was ready to book it as soon as possible.
Did you see Conor tweeting about it?
I did. My team showed me that. So, that'd be cool. Hope the fight goes through. Like I said, I can't get my hopes up. He dictates everything, man. I just can say yes.
If you can get that done, is it like dates, times, locations?
As soon as possible. Yeah. I'd love March, April. Anytime then. March, May, sun's out. Bring my boat and RV to Vegas. I'm sure I'll be in Vegas or Ireland. Let's go. Fuck yeah.
While Dana White had previously shut down any rumours of a potential showdown between Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone, he quickly changed his tune after Cerrone's win over Alex Hernandez. During an interview ahead of UFC 234, Dana made it very clear that Cerrone was the frontrunner to land a fight with McGregor upon his return, and that if the two of them wanted to fight, they would.
Everybody wants to see Cowboy against Conor. You know it. They want it. When's it going to happen? What's it going to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see Conor fight this summer. So those two want to fight each other. They've both earned it. Cowboys fought anybody we've ever put against them. We throw this young killer Hernandez at him. Cowboys, the underdog, he goes in and does it the way he did it. And then Conor's fought everybody. If these two want to fight, I'm down.
Once Dana announced that Cerrone was next in line to face McGregor, Cerrone took to social media, sharing a post that teased that an interim title fight could be in line. This was due to lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov serving a suspension. With the chances of a fight happening between Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone at an all-time high, Cerrone even went so far as to make a prediction of how the fight would go during a Q&A at UFC 234.
I've got a question for Cowboy now. How are you going to beat Conor?
Oh, man. Like I said, I'm just going to go out there and fight my ass off, man. I really am. He's definitely going to stand up. I'm going to stand and fight him. So I'm not going to try and wrestle him. I'm going to fucking stand and give you all what you want to see.
Unfortunately, during the next few weeks, reports began to surface that fight negotiations had stalled, with the reason appearing to be that the UFC wanted the fight to serve as a co-main event, which obviously McGregor was unwilling to accept. Because of this, the potential fight was scrapped. This caused a frustrated Donald Cerrone to temporarily give up on pursuing the fight, instead turning his attention to Al Iaquinta.
Yeah, do you think this Conor fight does happen potentially?
Who knows, man. I'll take it if it does, of course. If not, I'll take whoever's next. I don't care. I love my job. I love fighting, and
here we go.
You're not chasing him though, right?
Nah, I'm not chasing him. When chase is over, it's done.
After defeating Ally Aquinta in dominant fashion at UFC on ESPN 9, Cerrone once again made an attempt to call out McGregor, suggesting that the two of them fight each other in July.
There's been the back and forth with you and Conor.
Dude, get a grip on life, bro. Let's go. Yeah, July 4th, Conor McGregor. Let's go, dude. Let's go.
Even Dana White himself backed up the idea and said that a fight between them would make a lot of sense. But the return of Conor McGregor hit yet another bump in the road after he posted a photo on social media revealing that he had broken his hand during training. And once again, Cerrone was forced to accept that the fight wasn't happening anytime soon. So instead, he focused his efforts towards seizing the lightweight title.
Yeah, when you win this fight and they say, hey, we got two options for you. We got a title fight or we got Conor. The Conor fight pays more.
Yeah, but does it?
But if it did, let's say they say, hey, we'll guarantee you more money to fight Conor.
Nah, I'm with
you take more money? No?
Yeah, Conor's had a shot. Sit your ass down now. So, it's all good.
He later accepted a #1 contender fight with Tony Ferguson, which he ultimately lost by a doctor's stoppage. While McGregor remained absent from the MMA world, he did briefly make an appearance during an interview in August of 2019, mainly apologising for the incident in the Irish pub. During the interview, McGregor expressed his plans to return either late that year or in early 2020. Although he went on to detail a number of potential opponents he had in mind, Cerrone was not among them, giving fans even less hope that the fight would ever happen.
Anyone, Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje, Holloway, rematch, Aldo rematch. There's so many bouts for me, Ariel, so many. And in reality, it does not matter who. It's just about me getting back in and being who I am.
Following his loss to Tony Ferguson at UFC 238, Cerrone was then scheduled to face off against Justin Gaethje in the main event of UFC on ESPN 16. And just a couple of days prior to the fight, Cerrone was asked if he was concerned that Conor would cut to the front of the lightweight line to fight for the title upon his return. But Cerrone responded by expressing serious doubts that Conor would even come back.
You mentioned yesterday if you do beat Justin, I mean, it makes sense, the winner of Khabib and Tony, but does it worry you at all that someone, and we probably can figure out who might cut the line in that
Do you
case?
think he comes back, though? I mean, damn, it's been a lot of talk, a lot of years. I don't know. Who knows? So to me, like, chasing that, it's just like not even worth it to me anymore. Like, man, are you going to come back and shit or get off the pot, bro?
After spending over a year away from competition, McGregor finally announced his return during a press conference in Moscow, claiming that he would be fighting in January.
I would like to announce to the public the return of the notorious Conor McGregor will take place on January 18th in the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada.
And even though he didn't give a name as to who he'd next be fighting, he made it more than clear that he was willing to fight just about anyone.
Ask the UFC who the opponent is, because I do not give a who the opponent is. January 18th, the return of the notorious Conor McGregor, 12 weeks this Saturday at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada.
The announcement pushed Cerrone to send McGregor a message, telling him to sign the deal and agree to fight him.
If Conor is going to watch this, what would Cowboy be to Conor?
Oh, just tell him, sign the damn deal, man. Let's get this done.
How do you think it goes? How does Cowboy get his hand raised at the end?
Oh, man, of course I think I'm going to go out there and win. I have my gloves on to lose, so don't give it hell, man. It's going to be a fun time.
Once again, rumours began to circulate about a potential showdown between McGregor and Cerrone. And although Dana White soon went on to clarify that no deal was in place, he did admit that the UFC intended targeting a fight between McGregor and Cerrone.
We have nothing done. Nothing is even close to being done. So I hate to even talk about this stuff and say it because it might not happen. It might happen. But we're looking at Cowboy.
So finally, after several delays and setbacks, Dana White officially confirmed on November 28th that the fight was a done deal and was set to headline UFC 246 on January the 18th.
I think the first question we start off with is how and why Donald Cerrone?
I mean, me and Donald have had a history for a while, right? And I did say I'd fight him. If you look at the list of call-outs or the people that I've engaged with, Donald was probably one of the first ones. So he's first on the list, and that's it.
And although the two have kept things cordial since the fight was announced, it's unclear as to whether they'll keep it that way until fight night. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Apart from that, thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next video.